Alright, so now that our animation and camera are in good shape, we can add a little bit of secondary animation to our protagonist. And two good options, I mean, there's really three that come to mind. You can either have your protagonist rotate some way, thinking of the ones in the class using like soccer balls and that sort of thing. You can have it squash and stretch, or you can have it smear. So we're going to start with, for this one, there's no way to know that it's spinning, so we're going to do squash and stretch. Okay, so I'm going to go into my pre-comp, turn on my shies. I'm going to shy more stuff just to kind of do a little cleanup here. I don't even need these, actually. Alright, so just this. And I want to show my layer controls. There we go. Alright, so to get this to work, we need to animate the scale and the rotation. And we also want to break the proportions on the scale so that we can transform it non-proportionally. Alright, so it starts in a neutral state, like so. So what we want is we want our shape, our distortions to kind of orient along the trajectory of the path. So I could rotate along this path, but I'm going to do a little experiment and try to be lazy here. And go to Layer, Transform, Auto Orient, Orient along path. And what that should do is, yeah, have the ball go along the path here. And let's see, we'll see if that works. So right here, we might want to just finesse this Y animation a little so it's touching the platform a little. And maybe we could even squish it a smidge. So one thing to kind of look out for when you're doing this is you want to kind of preserve the volume of your ball, right? Otherwise, it's not like squash and stretch, it's more like inflation, which we don't really want. All right, so zoom out a little, over here a little. And when it reaches the apex, it goes back to normal. And at maximum acceleration, which is somewhere over here, it's going to do the opposite. So it compresses, then opens up. Right, and that's basically the trick here. So it accelerates, to maximum velocity right before it hits the ground. So this frame right here. And I'll do the same thing. And then it hits. I can use my J and K, and I can use plus and minus to kind of zoom in on my timeline. And I can zoom in over here. And we can cheat a little bit. So we could either do the rotation by hand, but I'm going to just, maybe I should have done it by hand. Well, let's just see here. I kind of want to zero this out when it hits the ground. And as we do this, we need to, adjust our contact points so that quickly turns into a football. Thing opens up right around here. Loses momentum at the apex. Maybe I'll do one more. And as it slows down, maybe the squash and stretch is a little less dramatic. All right, so that's one possibility.